Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Top Asian Nation Commercial Wednesday. Really spectacular time with AI. The times we're in right now, with Todd Billings, who's you saw running capital markets, putting together funds. But man, he is an AI expert. Some of the things that he's done and shown is incredible. But Todd, let's talk a little bit because everyone knows and is waiting for interest rates today and what the Fed say. This could be the first pivotal moment. But before we start with your background and presentation on the AI, let's catch everyone up on the importance of the interest rate or possible cuts and what you see. Because as you said, behind the scenes, you were a market maker, you watch charts, you watch the numbers very closely. So if you don't mind sharing
Yeah.
a little of your insights of what may be going on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, Jim. And uh, as he mentioned, I started on Wall Street and investment banking and in trading. Was a Nasdaq market maker and have also traded just about everything under the sun, from equities to municipal bonds to convertible bonds to currencies and commodities. And so there's a lot to look at, and I'm sure a lot of markets will move in many different directions based on what the Fed ultimately does. But let's just take the big picture, especially as it relates to real estate and the business that most of us are in here on the call. And so I'll do this for a second. I'm going to just share my screen just because I love to just educate people and hopefully give everyone kind of a insight into things that I look at and things that I do. So there's a thing called Poly Market where you can kind of just go through and see what people are actually betting on, like putting money in on different things from elections to the Fed rate decision. And you can see the number one market up here with $203 million worth of volume is the Fed decision. So you can see compared to the Cubs Pirate game, it's only 164,000 worth of volume. So people are making big bets on the Fed decision, and most people are expecting a 25 basis point cut. So I think anything outside of a 25 basis point cut, especially given the market volume of this trade, is going to, really showcase itself and maybe some volatility. I think if we're at 25 basis points, it'll be what people are expecting, and you probably won't have much volatility there. At that point, everyone will be focused more on the fact of what the governors say, what the statements are that come out, and maybe some key indicators around what their next position is going forward. So that's that. The second thing that I really look at would just be like charts. I'm really big on technical chart analysis. This is the S&P 500 over the last 5 years. And, key things for any of you chart, lovers like me, I always look for key points of resistance, meaning where did, the stock market or that particular market reach some points of resistance, and I look for support levels. Where did the market find support? And as you can see, like ever since around February of this year, the market, the resistance was somewhere in the $6,100 dollar range or 6,100 range for the S&P, and found support somewhere around 5,000, and it since broke through this resistance level of 6,100, and we're now sitting close to 6,600. So we're somewhat in uncharted territory right now, which, from a market making or a trading perspective, gives should give people a lot of confidence that the market can continue going higher because there is no level of resistance that the market has seen before. And for reference, I love to pull up older charts, and you can see like this resistance level back in 2022, which was around 4,800, lived there for a long time, and it took over a year and a half probably before we broke through that 4,800 level. And then once it broke through that 4,800 level, it literally just kind of took off and kept going all the way up to 6,000 before it fell back and kind of found a support level back at where that 4,800 level was. And so, old resistance becomes new support, and old support becomes new resistance. And so you can see how the market has done that. And so I would probably venture to say that we have a lot more upside in the market to go from here, regardless of the short-term volatility. I'd probably say I'm looking for support in the 6,100 level. But that being said, I don't want to get I probably got over technical for some people, but to put it in simple layman's terms, I think we're in really good stead with the Fed cutting rates, especially if it's not overly aggressive, which might signal that there's really a weak job market or some other, instability in the financial sector or something. So assuming that doesn't happen and it's slow and steady, I think we have a very good upside in the markets going forward. So I wouldn't buy into the noise of what the market does today, tomorrow, the next week. I would just keep listening to these big term signals, which is does the market break 6,100 if you're following the S&P? If it starts going down, we're probably looking more for downside. But for now, as long as we stay above 6,100, I'm going to bet that the market's going higher. So that's two minutes
And
of my Jim Cramer speech.
Todd, and I love that because it does affect, with interest rates and the 10-year we were talking about, and everyone, right, Todd, there's a gap opening too. So
Yep.
sometimes before it goes higher, it fills the gap. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so it is exciting, all these things that it does involve the financial markets does, that's a forward indicator, right? Or sometimes with the
Yeah, and
interest
so
rates.
and maybe to tie that all that back to real estate, I would say as long as there's continued confidence in the market and we're having interest rates go lower, I think you're going to see the real estate market ultimately be the beneficiary of this. So the markets love stability, they love certainty. They love lower interest rates in general, unless there's too much inflation. So as long as we can keep inflation under control and keep in this path. I think obviously real estate, as we all know, is a very local market, but on a big picture, these are all positive signs for our market here.
Well, with a 60% increase in mortgage demand because of the drop, even before the poly markets showed in 25 basis, right? The market already priced it in. And you
Yes.
saw the announcement with the 60% mortgage increase. And, those that study the market, I do suggest a lot of people with your product type study the market because it is a forward indicator. Many people are buying REITs of certain product types and home builder companies right now, right? Like Warren Buffett and
Yes.
other big funds are buying and have been buying in anticipation of lower rates of these companies. So in a way, it makes you a better broker, gives you good talking points because a lot of times your clients will talk about the stock market. We always know, are you a stock guy or are you a real estate guy, right? That's one of the things because a lot of people that are in real estate, like real estate, they don't believe in the stock market, but many of them do diversify and put their money in stocks and bonds. Well, now crypto also and others. So it is important, like Todd, we're junkies on this stuff and we love technical because it does help you. No one has a crystal ball, but predicts a little to make good bets. And right, Todd, I mean, even for you right now, some hedges, you never know. And can you
Absolutely.
share the poly market again? Because it said,
Yeah.
what does the Fed speak afterwards? And can you show what the bets are on what after what
Absolutely.
Jerome Powell is going to say after? And many people should look at poly market because it is
Yeah,
kind of fun.
absolutely. How many to sent after, right? So here's
Yes.
how many to sent at the Fed meeting. So is it zero, one? Looks like people are actually betting that three out of the governors will dissent. So pretty interesting, when it comes to this. And listen, what I mean, and as you, I'd love to read the comments sometimes, like, hey, it doesn't make sense if it's a 25 basis point cut, who's dissenting, right? And so these are harder to really understand. I think, dissension or not, I think the key that comes out of these is the actual language that's used. And if you followed Fed meetings for decades like I have, they're very careful with what words they use. And I mean, Alan Greenspan was probably the first that we really started to watch the size of his briefcase or the folder he was carrying. Did he use specific words that meant specific things around future direction of Fed rate cuts or rate increases? And so I think this is one that is probably less important in terms of who dissents or how many dissent. I think what's going to come out of it is why they would dissent and what their outlook is, and that's probably the more important factor as you look at this.
Thank you, Todd, for sharing, because I know there's so much tangents and discussions. And that's what I love
Ab-
when we meet. But if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
I know you shared a little about being a market maker. Again, your background, I know you are big in capital markets, fund formations,
Oh,
portfolio
did I not
management.
share that? I forgot to share. I thought I was sharing my screen and I did
Oh,
not. Did I not share that?
no, here we go. Yes.
Okay, I apologize. I didn't hit the share button. I'm looking and talking, but here these were the actual numbers that were 3, 2, 1 number of people dissenting, and so I apologize. I was getting ahead of
Oh,
myself.
Todd, I saw the other one with Jerome Powell, what he'll say afterwards. So
Yeah, exactly.
not the
So
Fed
yeah.
governors, but what he would probably say. I think I saw something that's more even split.
What
Yeah.
will he say here? Yep. So is he going to say, key terminologies like is he talking inflation? It's interesting. You see people are literally counting the number of times he's saying the word inflation, or goal or tariff or unemployment. Good afternoon of all things, right? That's probably just more people gambling, but I would say these words here that are specific to like inflation or unemployment are probably really important as it relates to, actually, even on our topic today, is he going to mention AI and artificial intelligence? I never would have thought that this would even be a topic at a Fed meeting, but clearly it's reaching the level of importance that they're even expecting the Fed. 28% of people are expecting the Fed governor to even mention this in his talking points.
So for everyone, we're sharing, with Poly Markets. It's a good, I would say, canary in the coal mine guidance. As Todd said, people are betting, putting their money where their mouth is, not just talking. People are making bets and showing, and they bet on everything, which is crazy in Poly Market. So I do think that people can kind of take a look because it does give you some guidance. And let's kind of tie in talking about AI, Todd. I think we could go straight into, what do you see and in the importance of AI, and why would even the Feds talk about AI? Could you kind of
Yeah.
share this as we tie now into really talking about AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me do this. I'm going to reshare and share with audio because I think this is a good starting point. And let me make sure I hit the share button this time. So hopefully you can see my screen. And so this is a little bit longer clip that I shared probably a 5 second clip. This is Sam Altman being interviewed by Alexis Ohanian. I'm going to play this and it'll probably be self-explanatory why I'm showing it. So let me play this first and we'll go and speak afterwards.
Performance, smaller teams, thanks to these tools and these technologies, are going to be able to do so much more. Is that a trend you're seeing from the startups growing around y'all in Cerebral Valley?
We're going to see 10-person billion-dollar companies pretty soon, like billion-dollar valuations. And the thing that in my little group chat with my tech CEO friends, there's this betting pool for the first year that there's a 1-person billion-dollar company, which would have been unimaginable without AI, and now will happen.
I'm so happy you said that because I literally just wrote that out in a letter to my LPs for an AGM. This is a radical idea, and it gets even more exciting when you remember none of us ever, or all of us who have built companies to even more than 100 people, don't miss back when it was smaller. And I think there's going to be a new drug, the exact opposite of that ZERP phenomenon, where CEOs and founders are going to just be so excited to get up and go to work with much smaller, much more performant, much more stronger culturally teams. And I'm also kind of bummed I'm not on that CEO group chat, but we can table that for later. But I think this feels like a seminal moment, and I get you all are not sitting around patting yourselves on the back, but it's a big deal.
All right. Well, let's end there, and hopefully you guys can appreciate how big a deal this really is. Like there's going to be a 10-person billion-dollar company, and these top level tech CEOs are saying, literally betting amongst themselves of the date at which, not if it'll happen, but the date at which it will happen, that there will be a 1-person, $1 billion company, which I don't know if it even makes sense to us that how much money that is because we throw around all these numbers of billions and trillions these days. But $1 billion being 1,000 million, right? Like if you had a billion, you could make 999 of your friends. I don't even have 999 close friends like that that I could make millionaires along with me. And so it's a phenomenal thought process. And so one of the things I really wanted to prepare for you guys today is, you know, I am not an AI or tech guru at all. What I am is a normal person, just like you. I happen to be a professional in my chosen field of expertise, which is private wealth management, fund management, capital markets, et cetera. But and now obviously mortgages, real estate, but I don't know how to code. I've never learned coding. And the times that I have tried to read a book on C++ or SQL or any of these things, it's like, all right, that's not for me. Let me let someone else do that. And so I say all of this because I want to give everybody confidence that the one person $1 billion AI company is not, and I repeat, is not going to be a developer by trade. It's going to be an entrepreneurial business owner who has a big vision and can talk to AI and make that thing happen by their ability to communicate with AI. The winners are going to be entrepreneurs who can communicate clear thoughts and understand people, understand what's needed in the market, and build products, solutions that people ultimately want to put into their hands. And so I just want to encourage you that if anything, this is not even a young man's game as much as I think it's a young man or an older man, an older woman's game, because we have the wisdom. These gray hairs are here for a reason, right? And so now it's like the time to get in. It's not the time to exit. It's a time to dig deeper and say, how can I learn as much as possible so that I can be the most successful in this game? Because, you may not want to be a one person or a 10-person $1 billion company, but if there's going to be a one person $1 billion company, that means there's going to be a one person 1 million, one person 10 million, one person $100 million company. And that's truly amazing. And maybe you still want to work with people. I love working with people. I don't need to be a solo show. So maybe it's 3 of us or 5 of us or 10 of us. But I just think it's super exciting that we live in a day and age that this is possible. And so today, this is not about hype. It's about real tools, real tactics, and real transformation using AI in commercial real estate and beyond, right? I mean, that's what I hope this is about. And AI is not just about automation. We've all seen automation, right? Automation is clear. Like we've been using automation for decades, right? So this is not about automation. This is about leverage. A $1 billion company is a company that solved a big problem efficiently and at scale, right? And AI really gives you unlimited interns, 24/7 analysts, and repeatable content creators, right? And, there's a stat that says 49% of real estate firms already report cost savings using AI. 49%. And we're just beginning. I mean, this is all new. Like we haven't even gone decades into AI. And so I just really want to encourage everyone, first and foremost, that you can do something with AI that is going to leverage your time, leverage your expertise, and provide real value to those that you work with. And to the extent that you do that, you're going to make much more money and most likely have a lot more free time on your hands to do the things. Why do we work so hard? So that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. But now the labor becomes technology. The labor becomes a critical, like a machine that's thinking. And so I just find it super, super exciting and super cool. So I'm going to pause for a second before I dig into some tools and maybe a demo. But I just want to, maybe let Jim chime in here and give some perspective for everyone as well.
Yeah, and Todd, I love that you said, because a lot of people says, oh, I'm old. I don't want to learn a new trade. I don't want to learn tech. No, you're right. And that was the epiphany, that when you were saying at your AI meeting, I just said, you know what? The gray hair, the experience, the knowledge, the credibility that some people have. Before, like you were saying, we didn't know how to program, but I'm sure you'll share that. But now what we have is, let's say many of us have built companies over decades. You actually can show how you can build a funnel for marketing, uh, follow up, which everyone screws up on, how to use
Yep.
follow up, how to respond back to emails, also sending it to the right categories and campaigns. Let's say there's all these different departments. You're right. AI does all of that for you in the right way. It's daunting, it's scary, and everyone just uses Chat GPT to rewrite or condense or however they prompt or ask the right questions. You're right. A lot of people communications, even to AI, you got to be more specific than when you talk to a person. But I love it that you said now, for those that have built a lot of credibility in the market, you really could be that billion-dollar company with the right, let's say, Todd, I identify that quick, talking to you about putting certain things I'm doing together, and many of us in Renaissance, there is a lot because of the credibility, because of the people we have. And I also worry for the younger. Why is AI in the, Polymark? Why would Jerome Paul? I've talked to many people, the entry-level jobs are going away. AI can do it. So if you don't pivot your children or grandchildren into learning AI, plugging into this new industry, they're going to find out, right? I have a good amount of friends that went into computer science. They cannot find a job. And
Right.
other jobs are being replaced. And Todd, you just said this is just the tip of the iceberg. So I stress, old school, you're never too old. It's going to be easier because you don't have to deal with people and headaches. But the younger generation, you need to get ahead of this because it is taking a lot of jobs, and you got to start earlier learning AI. And I'm teaching my daughter AI right now in elementary school.
Yeah. No, that's great. And so, this is what I really want to do. I want to have an interactive demo where we can do something together that is tangible. So it's not just fluff and talk. I want the people who joined the call today to get so much value that everyone who didn't come is going to be begging for, what can I get the recording, and why wasn't I there? And I don't want to miss the next one. And so if you don't mind, can we go around? I put 3 questions in the chat. And if you guys could just, what part of your business could benefit from automation? If you had an AI assistant working for you 24/7, what would you have them do? And finally, like, what's your biggest fear or hesitation with using AI? Right. And I really would appreciate if everyone could just chime in there a little bit. It's going to help guide this to be really personable and practical for you specifically, because that's all that really matters. Like, can we build things that are going to help us in our daily business? And so take advantage of this, because I'm going to give my time and my effort and my energy to help anyone that wants help to maybe see some real things. Thanks, LJ. So marketing and CRM managing. Austin, marketing, emails, CRM management, and contact research. Okay. Lead generation for Nelson. Love it.
And Todd, you could do what you did for me. You built it.
Yeah,
This is tens of thousands of dollars, and then you could share
absolutely.
this. This
Yeah,
is great.
yeah. No, this is great. Um, all right, wonderful. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with looks like marketing, CRM management, lead generation. Let me just ask some clarifying questions. LJ, when you say marketing and CRM managing, like, give me some examples of things that are challenging for you, or a problem, that a bottleneck or something that you wish you had that would make it better for you.
So if I can get get an AI assistant to basically do all of my marketing for my listings, at Crexy, CoStar, making sure that it goes out to my databases, that would be great. Something where I can upload the databases and it can send it out to the databases based on industry. So my IOC properties, sending that out to the on the iOS, sending it to the the industrial outdoor space
Got it.
database that I have. And then as far as my
Okay.
CRM, when I put it into
Mhm.
my phone, if they can upload it into my CRM, match them with match them with the industry that they're in, and then add them to my databases. That would be
Okay,
great.
got it. So it goes to your CRM and then matches them to the industry. And what was the last thing? The database?
Match them to the industry, then add them to that particular database.
Okay, match them to the industry and that particular database. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Great. Who else here? Austin, you said marketing, email, CRM management, and contact research. Can you kind of dig in a little deeper for me there?
Sure. So same thing in regards to marketing emails, like sign up for services, say like MailChimp or anything, just making sure I get all the data, but all the exports on from Excel that I have Crexy leads and everything. Go ahead and sending automated emails out on my behalf to everyone once I have new listings or changes on the listings, whatever. And then in terms of CRM management, I do a lot of cold calling. So making sure that right now I use RealNext. So there's multiple sources, websites that I go ahead and use when I research and add contact information for every property I call on. So I'm using title websites to make sure I have correct ownership. I use state entity search, making sure I see who are the principals involved with the LLC, for example, and then going ahead and researching the LLC, these people on the LLCs, make sure like online on True People Search, Fast People Search, everything. Make sure I have all their phone numbers as well. So it's just right. I have multiple tabs open when I'm doing this, just streamlining it, making it a lot easier. Like it saved me time.
Got it. I love that. That's so great. This is like a perfect use case. Both use cases are perfect. All right, awesome. So I'm putting these in here just so we're all following along. Nelson, lead generation. Can you expand on that?
So I am searching for property owners that are doing value add renovations, and I'm trying to give them valuable information of products and services and financing that can make their projects do better. And so getting those relationships either when they're acquiring a property or after they've acquired a property, and then developing a relationship on how we can best help them make the most money out of their investments.
Okay, got it. Show them. I'm tracking along, and feel free to correct anything that I put in here. I'll be with you 1 second, Caesar. And let's say April, you said marketing agent attraction, lead follow-up. Maybe anything specific there or anything different from what we've heard.
Yeah, so mine would be the social media post, and
Okay.
then just creating email and text campaigns where I'm relating to the audience in a professional and friendly manner. Um, but by the time I'm kind of really speaking with them, they're ready to go. The interest has, as far as them being interested and taking the next step, that sort of thing, they are ready to go. So it actually saves me time.
Okay, got it.
No,
So your goal is to basically prep people, so that by the time they speak to you, they're ready to go.
correct. And ready to go could be ready to make a decision on how
Mhm.
we're going to move forward or not. Mhm.
Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. I love it. I love it. All right. Caesar, you had a question?
Hi, Todd. When we post a property with the right offering memorandum, typically we get hundreds and hundreds of leads. Most of those are tire kickers. They're wholesalers, they're treasure hunters. And at the same time, when we start prospecting for sellers, there's an array of different options. How can we trigger some classifications where AI can find and make the suitable buyer or seller in that case and make a classification based on priorities? So is there any way that we can have a list? Let's say if I have a property right now where I have about 400 folks interested in the property. There's no way that I can call each one and screen them. It has to be some kind of criteria where AI can help us and make a list, prioritize A, B, and C, so we can start with the A first. Most likely the property will be sold before we get to the B.
I love it. Okay, I love it. Yeah, I love these. These are all great. How can we prioritize these people? All right. So listen, we've got plenty to work with here. I hope I didn't miss anyone. If you have something, feel free to just drop your use case in the chat. And even if we can't get to it today, because there's no way in 28 minutes I'm going to get through all of these use cases, but feel free to drop it in. And if I have time, I'm happy to work on it outside of this. And just make sure you put your email or contact information so that I can follow up with you afterwards with some more direct actionable items. So let's go to a couple of things that I'm just gonna, highlight a few tools. So I think can people put in what AI tools they currently use? Like, are you using ChatGPT, using Claude, using Gemini? Are you building apps? Are there specific things you're using for copywriting, or using Zapier for automations? For any of you, how are you enriching your data using Apollo or Zoom Info, or any tools that you're using today? So um, that would be helpful. So
A lot of chat GPT,
ChatGPT,
Todd,
a lot of
at the top.
ChatGPT, beautiful AI. Yeah, I love beautiful. I'd use that for my presentations, ChatGPT. So, um, wonderful. That's great. Okay, listen, ChatGPT is great. But I really Grok's awesome. You.com. Yep, I love you. You gives you the ability to like select multiple models with one subscription. So you can kind of go across platforms, which is really awesome. I would really encourage everyone to use more than just ChatGPT. Lauren, look at that. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and Napkin. That's my kind of girl right there. I love it. And she's from LA. I'm from LA. So good stuff. That's awesome. So, yeah, listen, all of these tools, and there's so many of them. And I've actually even built a list of all these various AI tools because I'm trying to keep track of them. In fact, I'm going to share my screen now for a little bit, and we're going to walk through some scenarios or examples together. So hope that's okay with everyone. Everyone good? Thumbs up. We'll do some homework together. So um, let's see here. When you get into, I want to share one tool that I love. It started out where it was, and let me log out of my account for a second. Oh, actually, I don't think I need to log out. I think I can look up YouTube. Manus, I am YouTube. Here, this is, and I'm gonna pause it. So it's a little long. It's 4 minutes long, but I think this is worth every minute of it because it's gonna give you, I think a little bit more insight into what, and when people talk about AI agents or agentic workflows, what does that mean? It means when I say you can have an analyst working 24/7 or you can have unlimited interns, like if you're the one typing in ChatGPT, that's not an unlimited intern, right? If you're the one that has to sit at the terminal prompting all day, that's not an unlimited intern. So the key here is how can you get AI to do work without you being there, right? And as soon as you can get to that point, you're already probably in the top 1 to 5% of people using AI because most people are only prompting. That's just what they're doing. And so I'm going to show you Manus. I would encourage, I think I have like some referral things. So before we're over, anyone who stays to the end, I'll give you access to a few tools where my referral links, it'll give you some free credits. It'll give me some free credits as well for both Manus and another tool I use called Replit. But this is a great tool and it's a general AI agent. So I'm going to share this real quick.
Hi, I'm Pete from Manus AI. For the past year, we've been quietly building what we believe is the next evolution in AI. And today, we're launching an early preview of Manus, the first general AI agent. This isn't just another chatbot or workflow. It's a truly autonomous agent that bridges the gap between conception and execution. While other AI stops at generating ideas, Manus delivers results. We see it as the next paradigm of human-machine collaboration, and potentially a glimpse into AGI. Now let me show you Manus in action across 3 completely different tasks. Let's start with
So I'm going to pause here, Caesar. So this is a good example that relates exactly to what you're saying of how can AI take a bunch of applications or interests and whittle it down for you to focus on what's most important. So even though they're talking about resumes, I want you to realize that this applies specifically to your question.
an easy one. In this example, we'll ask Manus to help screen resumes. I've just sent Manus a zip file containing 10 resume documents. Since each Manus session has its own computer, it can work like a human. First unzipping the file, then browsing through each resume page by page, and recording important information to documents. Manus works asynchronously in the cloud, which means you can close your laptop anytime, and Manus will notify you when everything is complete. Of course, you can also give Manus new instructions at any time. Here I've sent Manus 5 more resumes. After carefully reading all 15 resumes, Manus provides its ranking suggestions, along with candidate profiles and evaluation criteria as supporting materials. This is pretty good, but I prefer a spreadsheet. Let's have Manus create one. Manus has its own knowledge and memory, so it can teach Manus that the next time it handles a similar task, it will deliver a spreadsheet right away. In this example, we'll have Manus conduct some research. It needs to filter New York properties based on multiple criteria. For complex tasks, Manus first breaks them down and creates a to-do list. Manus begins by searching and carefully reading articles about the safest neighborhoods. Then Manus researches middle schools in New York. Next, Manus writes a Python program to calculate my budget. Based on my budget, Manus filters listings on real estate websites. Finally, combining all the information gathered, Manus writes a detailed report and compiles all the resources. In this example, we have Manus perform a correlation analysis between stocks. For professional data, Manus can access authoritative data sources through APIs. After validating the acquired data, Manus begins writing code for data analysis and visualization. For Manus, coding isn't necessarily the goal, but rather a universal tool for solving problems. It looks like Manus has completed the data analysis and visualization. But interactive data visualization is even cooler, so I asked Manus to create a website based on these data. With my permission, Manus deploys the finished website online and provides me with a shareable link. Let's see what Manus has created. What you've just seen is just a small sample of what Manus can do. In fact, on benchmarks designed to evaluate general AI assistants, an early checkpoint of Manus has already achieved state-of-the-art performance, and it's only getting better. Beyond benchmarks, Manus has been solving real-world problems on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, and has proven its capabilities on Kaggle competitions. This wouldn't be possible without the amazing open source community.
All right, I'll pause there. They're going to talk a little bit about giving back here, but I want to, before I go any further, and I'll share my screen again. What resonates as you guys see that? Is that new for you, or you knew that was possible, or like give me some feedback here?
I know for me, I knew it was possible. I just didn't know how to access the systems that provide it. The question that comes to mind to me, however, is I know sometimes, especially using ChatGPT, the AI kind of goes off and creates stuff. So how accurate is the information in the results that Manus gives would be my
Right.
question.
Yeah, that's a great point. And before we get another comment or question here, I think we still need humans, right? I'll be the first to say, I check what comes out, and you need to have an idea of what the output should be, so that you're not stuck in a hallucination loop or misinformation. That being said, every day, every week, every month that goes by, they're getting better and better at reducing hallucinations considerably. And so one of the things I do is I also use 6 different LLMs. So like when it comes to certain market data research, I'm going to also not only say, hey, this is information, but provide me the source of that information. In fact, I was doing an investment offering for a investment in the mountains, which was like a sustainable living community. And there was some data that ChatGPT came up with. And then I asked Manus, in fact, instead of me telling you, why don't I just show you what I did, right? So this is a great question here. So let's go into my Manus account. And I did, in here I was, this was investor deck. And let's see here.
While you're looking for
So
that, Todd, oh, go ahead.
yeah. Can you see my screen here?
We can.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, while you were looking for that, I have an attorney partner or colleague, and he shared that there are two attorneys that are currently in trouble because they wrote up information based off of AI, used it in
Yep.
court, and it was incorrect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is true. I mean, I think legal is probably one of the toughest areas for AI to use. I think it can cut down tremendously, but I think that once again, that this is my thing when it comes to any resource. If you use Google, Google's not right, right? It doesn't mean it's just automatically right. You need to have source information for that. And so I think people in the effort to shortcut, they're over shortcutting. They're taking too short of a route, and I think that's where the risk comes in. So great cautionary tale for everyone here. So I had put in, I said I need to develop an investor deck, market analysis, comprehensive market research and opportunity development plan, detailed timelines and community features. I pasted in my investor funnel and some other context for it, and then it said it was going to go develop this information for me. And as I went through here, one of the things that I want to highlight is, um, this market analysis came back, from I think something that I had sent 2.3 trillion of sustainable real estate opportunity, right? And that's to your point. It's one of those things that are like, is that accurate? Is that true? And I want to say in here, I came back with, please complete all three follow-ups, and then need to replace some pictures here. I just want to get to the part where, here we go. I said, I have this section in my funnel, but I'm not sure that this data is accurate. Can you validate this data and or find data regarding sustainable real estate market opportunity breakdown, which I had was these numbers, right? And so Manus went out and said, great question. Let me validate those market size figures for sustainable real estate. And it went out and started doing all of that work for me. Key problems found. It wasn't 1.2 trillion for net zero communities. It was actually 47 billion, 25 times overstated. To your point, traditional mountain homes, 890 billion. There was no market data found. Exclusive eco luxury properties, 425 billion, unclear definition, likely overstated. So then it went out and found with you know like where there was actual data, green building market, growth rate of 10.82, and they found it from Mordor Intelligence, net zero buildings with 17% growth rate, fastest growing segment from Grandview Research. World Economic Forum, it was a $1.8 trillion opportunity from World Economic Forum. So once again, and then it actually produced a document here. Let me go, it's probably over here on the right. And there's a full document here, that I can, have and track. So my point is, I think you're exactly right. It's not necessarily accurate, but what's cool is if you use these super agents like Manus, you can actually have it go and do that research for you where you otherwise would have maybe been on your own. So, let's any other quick questions before I do want to kind of jump into building something real quick based on somebody's flow, just so you guys can see. But any other questions before I jump into that? Good. Okay, perfect. So let's jump into actually building something together. So it seems like the overarching issue that I see, and I would encourage everyone to go to replit.com. And I will, like I said, at the end of this call, I'll give you a shareable link where you'll get some free credits as well. And I'll give you one for Manus as well. But let's create an app together. And right now we need something. I need to actually, just to keep my life simpler, let me find the chat, and I'm going to paste in some of the things. AI assistant to do these things. What else do I need? I need to be able to have marketing emails. I'm probably going to give it too many things to do, but I just want, let's see, searching for properties. Let's do this. Bear with me. Make this bigger. Sorry. Include some more. Oops. And let's see if I'm missing this here. All right, so before I do this, I'll show you a little trick that I've learned before I even put this into, since everyone uses ChatGPT, I'll use ChatGPT for as well. So I have a new chat. I'm going to say, I, want to build a super, and let me make this bigger. Sorry, I'm on a big screen, so this might be, I want to build a super app that can accomplish multiple things for my real estate business. These mainly center around lead generation, lead slash contact enrichment, CRM management, lead qualification, leading through lots of contacts and tire kickers, automating marketing and messaging across email, social media, and the like. Here are specific, yet disparate use cases. Please help me write a detailed for my AI app creator called Replit to build this super app for me. My goal is primarily to buy back my time by leveraging the power of AI and agentic workflows. All right. And then I'm going to paste in what everyone said. So everyone follow me. I think all of us could do what I just did. We'll let ChatGPT do all the great thinking for us to come up with computer talk to Replit and give a very concise, detailed prompt in computer language. And I tend to keep my mind on deep thinking as much as possible. I think it's worth the extra credits or usage.
I love the details that you provided in your prompt because it gives me an idea on how to increase my details and
Yeah.
being more specific. I see that based on what you did, I'm not specific enough.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thank you
I
for
mean,
sharing that.
absolutely. So, I mean, you can see I gave it a lot to think about, and we could give it a much shorter prompt, but hopefully, we'll get something really good, and we'll be able to get the beginning. Okay, perfect. Here's a prompt, right? So look how detailed and organized this thing is coming out to be for us. Build this real estate super app, agentic CRM, and marketing operating system. Your Replit AI app creator. Build a production ready web app that acts like. Actually, we'll read this afterwards. Let's put this in. We're going to put this in Replit so it can start building. So instead of pasting that into Replit, which would have had to figure out everything that ChatGPT took a long time to figure out, I'm giving Replit a very detailed version, and I'm just going to I'll just take this part out, and I'm just going to say, I'm building real estate super app. See attached prompt, right? And so now I'm going to give this to Replit. Replit's going to start figuring out how to build this app. And is everybody good on time? I know we're going to run out of time before we get all the way there, but I'll stay on a little bit longer just because you'll see what is possible with only a few minutes of work. Obviously, there's unlimited iterations that you can do and things that you can have, but it's planning and then it's going to build. So while it's doing that, let's go back to ChatGPT and see what we gave it to do. So the app must buy back time by automating admin and marketing, triaging leads, and running outreach across email, SMS, social media with human style messaging. Consolidate tools, ingest contacts from phone, CSV, CRM, enrich them, segment them, score them, prioritize them, and run compliant multi channel campaigns. Guide daily work, generate a daily action list, SOPs, and one click follow up so the operator can spend time on high leverage activities, i.e., in person meetings and door knocking. Operator profile, I put, I guess, Jay, hands on wants AI to replace an admin so he can go knock on doors. Business, real estate, investor, agent needs lead gen, enrichment, CRM. So it's giving an actual profile. Key outcomes: reduce manual admin by 80%, prioritize hot leads from large, noisy inbound lists. For example, 400 plus tire kickers, keep database warm, consistent, professional, friendly. Oh man, boom. It so I drafted a full production ready build prompt for Replit that specs it, right? Let's see. I hope I got the whole thing. I don't know if it was even done. I wonder if it even finished. I may have not even put the whole thing in. Let's see what it says here. I'll help you build a comprehensive super app with agentic CI marketing. Now I'll create the comprehensive plan for your app. And it says, I'm going to include user authentication, contact management system, lead scoring, multi-channel campaign, unified inbox, AI agent orchestrator for coordinating contact enrichment and lead qualification, daily action dashboard with prioritized tasks, basic research agent for property and contact information gathering, simple CRM pipeline. And we could change this plan. We could edit it. And to build the entire app, it says it's going to take 20 plus minutes to do this, right? Or we could start with the design. Right now, I'm just going to start with the design just so that we get something you can start to see what it'll look like. But I could literally build the whole thing. And one of the apps I built, it went and it worked for about 2.5 hours and then came back to me with a product, right? Which is like, this is all brand new. And so I'm going to share this Replit Agent 3 kind of last video here that they showcased, which I think should give you, let's see, where's Replit Agent 3? What is it? What was it? Release. Let me see if they have it's just a short video. Might just be if I go to replit.com. All right.
At Replit, we believe everyone should be able to create software without limits and without knowing how to code. Our vision was never to just build a tool. We set out to create a teammate, a technical partner that runs longer, thinks smarter, and works like a builder. An autonomous agent for everyone. Previous agents, while great in many respects, were far from autonomous. They needed constant attention and hand-holding. That was yesterday. Today, we're proud to announce a major breakthrough. It's a moment we've been building towards since day one. Introducing Agent 3. Agent 3 delivers a 10x increase in autonomy, redefining the user experience from the ground up. That means more progress, less micromanaging, and more time for your ideas. Let's take a closer look at what makes Agent 3 so powerful. Agent 3 runs on its own for hours, handling full tasks autonomously. We went from 2 minutes to 20 minutes to 200 minutes of autonomy. You can track your project's progress in real time from anywhere with live monitoring right on your phone. Agent 3 can now test and fix its code, constantly improving your app behind the scenes. We invented our own validation system to speed up quality control, making it at least 3 times faster and 10 times more cost-effective. It checks every button, every API, and every data source, ensuring every part of your software works. For the first time ever, Agent 3 can build other agents. Agents that can automate complex workflows using natural language and connect to your data sources and services, allowing you and your users to interact with your own agent. Agent 3 isn't just an upgrade. These new capabilities, along with everything else Agent 3 brings, will unlock entirely new frontiers, redefining what's possible. We're so excited about what Agent 3 can do, and we can't wait to see what you're going to build with it.
So that's the new thing. So this preview is working. It's going through designing right now. And hopefully for those of you who can stay for a few minutes, you'll be able to see kind of a working preview. And those of you can, I'm sure we'll have a recording that you'll be able to follow up on. In the meantime, I also put in my links, referral codes for Replit and Manus. And we both will get free credits on both systems if you decide to sign up, or I think even if you use a free plan, they'll give you free credit. So I would encourage everyone to just start playing around with these tools, because both of these tools are giving you your time back. It'll take very little time for you to learn how to code, or let me not even say how to code. You probably will never learn how to truly code, but you'll learn how to work with these agents to get the result you want and let them do the coding. All right, cool. It looks like it's starting to pull up a preview of this. So let's see what happens here. Still working. Any questions in the meantime? I know we're waiting for this, and sorry I got a little long-winded and maybe got a little too late to the demo. Next time we'll start the demo in the beginning, and then by the end we can have a full-blown app by the end of the 1-hour call, which is what we did with Jim's app that we did on the AI committee meeting. So
Todd, can you share about the AI committee for those that want to go deeper and the monthly
yeah,
events, if you want to share that a little?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So AI committee is we meet the first Thursday of every month at 12 p.m. Eastern. Uh, and it's for people who, if you like this kind of interaction and this kind of learning, I encourage all of you to join. All you really need to do is drop your email in the chat, and I will add you to the recurring Zoom meeting. And if not, you can always email me or Jim, and we'll get you added to the list, and you'll get at least all the reminders and all. So we dig deep every once a month right now, and seems like we'll probably be doing more of that going forward, more regular meetings. So
Thank you, Scott, for
yeah,
sharing.
yeah, thanks, Scott. All right. Well, I know it's past 1 o'clock. I don't want to keep anyone. I'll stay on while this is still iterating, just so people can see what it comes up with. But you can see it's actively creating all of the code, everything in the background. and I'm not doing anything. I could literally leave. I could be on sales calls, and it's working. Unlike how most of us are using ChatGPT, we're going to have to sit there and prompt the whole time. And like I said, I've had Replit sit here and work for 2.5 hours all by itself, which to me is like a game changer.
So Todd, maybe this is what we'll do. We'll do a follow-up next week because this is
Yeah.
really important. I mean, people that missed out and the time and cost of what it took before. I know you and I spent, and many others, tens
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars to build websites and integrations and
Yes.
programmers and back and forth. So this is powerful. So we will, for Top Agent Nation, do a follow-up, part 2, showing what Todd has built with AI, going down deeper into the rabbit hole of letting people really understand this power. I mean, this is powerful to have your virtual VA working 24/7, plugging into so many systems, right, Todd? And that's what you know.
Yep.
Before, people use Zapier to plug in. You can use that. There's other systems, but the AI, if you know how to prompt it, program it. And Todd, that's the biggest thing that scares people. There's so much they don't know how to even start besides talking to ChatGPT. How do
Yep.
you, beyond ChatGPT, where do you go from there? So let's do a
Yeah.
follow-up part 2 with you, sharing it
Great.
with everyone that we can recap, and then giving the finished product and going deeper into the rabbit hole.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And you see it's creating these little dashboard tools. It's just giving you little samples of things. It's already showing you what it's creating as pieces of the pie. And it's so fun to just watch, contact enrichment. Like we gave it a very complex task, right? This is not like if you asked anybody to build this super app, they probably would tell you you need a budget of at least $100,000 to even talk about it, and you're likely going to be $250,000 to $1 million plus to build it all out, and we're probably going to spend less than $100 at the end. Today we've probably spent, we've probably spent less than like $5 by the time we're done with this, just to give you perspective. So yeah, that's great. Like I said, I'll stay on if people want to stay on with me. If we need to end this Zoom because it's used for something else, let me know. But I'm happy to stay on if you want to keep me as a co-host or make me the host
So
for
Todd,
anyone who
we
wants
can
to
end
stay.
it, and we'll just do it next week, and we'll just
Perfect.
catch up. So once this is built, and think about now, you know
Yep.
what everyone needs. Let's
Yep.
build on this and really help everyone integrate AI into their life, their business,
Perfect.
to give them
Awesome.
some more time. So again, thank you everyone for joining us on
Yeah.
Top Agent Nation. Join us next week as we do the follow-up so you can see the finished product. And
Yeah.
Todd, I'll just have to vouch, it was amazing what you built for me and
Yeah.
what it could do for you. So
Yep.
looking forward to seeing everyone next week on the AI part 2, Todd. So we'll
AI
see you
part
next
2.
week, and
Awesome.
see everyone
Great.
else, and invite your
Okay.
friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.